Look at this thing. Just look at it. The drone goes up, pulls back, and there it is. Highmark Stadium. Brand new. $1.6 billion. Right there in Orchard Park, New York, sitting directly across the street from the old Ralph Wilson Stadium, where Bills fans spent decades showing up, showing out, and going home without a championship. And the first thing they put on the Bison statue out front on opening day? A Super Bowl ring. That one detail tells you everything you need to know about what this stadium actually means. This is not just a building. This is a billion-dollar message to the rest of the NFL. Buffalo is not done. Buffalo is not satisfied. And Buffalo is not going to stop until Josh Allen has one of those rings on his finger for real. But before we talk about what this stadium means for the future, let's talk about what they actually built, because the design of this place is genuinely worth understanding, not just because it looks incredible, but because every single decision they made and how they built it was made for a reason. And those reasons matter if you want to understand what playing inside Highmark Stadium is going to feel like for the teams that have to come in there and beat the Bills. The first thing everybody notices is the shape, that futuristic, almost UFO-looking structure. And yeah, it looks like a spaceship. The new Arizona Stadium looks like that. Allegiant in Las Vegas looks like that. SoFi in Los Angeles. Soldier Field's renovation. The NFL has been on this run of building these massive, futuristic venues that look like something out of a science fiction film. And people joke about it. Are they trying to tell us something? Is this some kind of message hidden in the architecture? The real answer is simpler than that. Modern engineering, modern materials, modern construction science. This is just what the best buildings look like when you have enough money and enough ambition to build them right. The shape is not random, it is functional. It allows architects to maximize the things that matter most inside an NFL stadium: sound, coverage, sightlines, airflow, and the experience of 70,000 people trying to watch football in one of the coldest cities in the country. And that brings us to the most important decision the Bills made: the roof. They did not close it. They left an opening in the middle. And I want you to think about that for a second, because when you are spending $1.6 billion on a stadium in Buffalo, New York, a place where it snows in October, where wind comes off Lake Erie at speeds that make it physically difficult to kick a football, where temperatures in January can make the air feel like it is trying to stop you from moving, the safe, comfortable, logical choice is to put a roof on it and call it done. Go fully enclosed, protect your fans, control the environment. The Bills said no, and that decision is one of the smartest things this franchise has ever done. Because here's what a fully enclosed dome does to a football team. It makes you the same as everybody else. It makes your home field feel like a neutral site. It takes away the one thing that has made Orchard Park genuinely terrifying for visiting teams for years: the weather. Buffalo Bills weather is not an inconvenience. It is a weapon. A few years ago, they played a home game with winds gusting at 80 miles per hour. 80! Nobody could pass, nobody could kick. The entire game turned into a survival contest. And the Bills, who practice in that weather, who are built for that weather, who have a fan base that was raised in that weather, had the advantage. That is home field advantage in its purest form. Not crowd noise alone, not a fancy scoreboard, the actual elements working for your team and against the opponent. The partial roof keeps that. It gives fans enough coverage that they stay in their seats and stay loud when the snow is coming down, instead of leaving early because it's too brutal to sit through. But it does not take away the cold. It does not take away the wind. It does not turn Buffalo into Miami. It keeps Buffalo as Buffalo. And then there's the noise. This stadium was engineered to be loud, not accidentally loud, intentionally, architecturally, deliberately loud. The way the overhang is designed, the way the seating angles down toward the field, the way the partial roof traps sound inside the bowl before it can escape, all of it is calculated to make crowd noise stay inside and press down onto the playing surface where it does the most damage to an opposing offense. Tyler Adams, one of the most experienced players in American soccer, a man who has played in some of the loudest stadiums in Europe, said the Seattle Seahawks stadium was the loudest place he had ever been inside. The Seahawks built that stadium specifically to be loud. The design of it, the angles of it, the way the roof wraps around the upper deck, it was a deliberate choice to turn crowd noise into a competitive advantage. Buffalo did the same. When Bills Mafia is fully locked in, and Bills Mafia is always locked in, Highmark Stadium is going to be one of the loudest venues in professional football. Quarterbacks trying to call audibles at the line, offensive linemen trying to communicate protection adjustments, wide receivers trying to time the snap count, all of it becomes harder, messier, more stressful in a building that is designed to hold sound the way this one is. That's a real, measurable, game-changing advantage. Now, let's talk about the part that matters most, because a beautiful stadium is just a building if the team playing inside it can't win the game that matters most. Josh Allen. Here's the honest conversation that every Bills fan has been having privately and that the rest of the NFL has been having publicly. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in football, maybe top 2 or 3 depending on how you want to rank them right now. He's physically gifted in a way that almost no other quarterback in NFL history has been. That combination of size, arm strength, mobility, and football intelligence is genuinely rare. He makes plays that other quarterbacks at his position simply cannot make. He has dragged this franchise to places it had not been in years. And he doesn't have a Super Bowl. In the NFL, that's the conversation that follows you until the day you retire. It followed Philip Rivers his entire career, 17 seasons, extraordinary talent, never got one, and that absence is a permanent part of how history judges him. It followed Dan Marino, it followed Fran Tarkenton, brilliant quarterbacks, incomplete legacies, at least in the way the sport keeps score. Joe Flacco got one, Ben Roethlisberger got multiple, Drew Brees got one, and the way football fans talk about those quarterbacks changed the moment those championships arrived. The ring doesn't just validate the career, it changes the entire conversation around it. Josh Allen knows this. Brandon Beane knows this. The entire Bills organization knows this. And putting a Super Bowl ring on that bison statue on the opening day of this stadium was not a decorative choice. It was a declaration of intent. This is what we're building toward. This is why we spent $1.6 billion. This is why we brought in a new head coach and gave Joe Brady the offensive coordinator job. This is why we have been so deliberate, so patient, so consistent in how we have built this roster around our quarterback. Because the window is still open. That's the part people need to understand clearly. Josh Allen is not at the end of his run. He's not a quarterback trying to squeeze one last run out of a fading career. He's in his prime. He's healthy. He's playing for a franchise that is fully committed to giving him every possible resource to win. New stadium, smart coaching hire, roster built to compete right now in the AFC. The AFC East is going to be contested. The Patriots are building again under a new direction, and they have the history to remind everyone in that division that they can never be fully counted out. The Dolphins have speed and talent. The Jets are trying to figure out their identity. But none of those teams have what Buffalo has. None of them are operating with a quarterback at the level Josh Allen operates at right now. None of them just opened a $1.6 billion home with a Super Bowl ring on the bison out front. The Bills Mafia deserves this building. That might sound like a simple thing to say, but it's true in a way that goes deeper than just fan loyalty statistics or attendance numbers. Bills fans have shown up through decades of near misses, through the bad years, through the rebuilding years, through the years when the team was clearly not good enough, and the fans came anyway, loud, passionate, fully committed to a franchise that was still trying to figure itself out. They have earned this building this good. They have earned a stadium that finally matches
is the energy they bring to every single game. And Highmark Stadium, from the bison statues to the partial roof to the acoustic engineering to the billion-dollar structure sitting across the street from where the Ralph used to stand, matches that energy. It's loud enough for Bills Mafia, it's tough enough for Buffalo Winters, it's beautiful enough to make the whole league stop and look, and it's built for the one moment this city has been waiting for longer than any other fan base in the NFL. The ring is on the Bison. Now they just have to go win the real one. Tell me in the comments, do you think Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl in Highmark Stadium? And when you saw that drone footage for the first time, what was your actual reaction? Because mine was simple. Buffalo finally got what they deserved. Now let's see what they do with it.